कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गिरिधरी श्री राधे जय राधा गिरिधरी श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमण जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमणि जय गौरानिताय श्री श्री गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय श्री श्री गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय श्रीमद की जय हरे कृष्णा everyone. Please welcome to this session Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity. Thank you Mataji. So please bless me so that I can deliver the correct message of Srila Prabhupada. Please also correct me if I do anything wrong. Hare Krishna. So we'll start this session with Prabhupada Lilamrit. I'll share the screen. Can you see this, Prabhuji? Screen?
Yes, Mother, you can see it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we are reading Lilamrita, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, page number 818, chapter 30. Chapter name is London, a dream fulfilled. The devotees regularly encountered John and Echo. Although originally interested in a business relationship, John was inclined toward the devotees. But his friends advised him not to get involved with Swami and his group, so he remained aloof. Ishana Dasa. I was in the kitchen working, and John was sitting at the piano. He had a piano in the kitchen, a great upright piano with all the varnished removed, bare wood. And in this way, he was sitting at the piano playing Hare Krishna. The man was actually a great magician, and he played Hare Krishna in every musical idiom you could think of, bluegrass music or classical music or rock and roll or whatever. He would go at will from one idiom to another, always singing Hare Krishna. It was so natural for him, and one could see that he was a musical genius. And in this way, he was entertaining me, and he was obviously really enjoying it. So, anyway, while this piano playing was going on with great vigor and enthusiasm, this chanting Hare Krishna, his wife Yoko One appeared in a nightgown or what have you and said in a very distressed tone, "Please, John, I have terrible headache. Can't you stop that sort of thing and come upstairs with me?" George was different. He was drawn to Prabhupada. When one of the devotees had asked, "Why out of all Beatles are only you interested?" George had replied, "It's my karma. One of the things in my sign is the spiritual side." Judge Harrison. Prabhupada just looked like I thought he would. I had like a mixed feeling of fear and awe about meeting him. That's what I liked about later on after meeting him more. I felt that he was just more like a friend. I felt relaxed. It was much better than at first because I hadn't been able to tell what he was saying and I wasn't sure if I was too worldly to even be there. But later, I relaxed and felt much more at ease with him, and he was very warm towards me. He wouldn't talk differently to me than to anybody else. He was always just speaking about Krishna, and it was coincidental who happened to be there. Whenever you saw him, he would always be the same. It wasn't like one time he would tell you to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and then the next time say, "Oh, no, I made a mistake." He was always the same. Seeing him was always a pleasure. Sometimes I would drop by thinking I wasn't planning to go, but I better go because I ought to. And I would always come away just feeling so good. I was conscious that he was talking a personal interest in me. It was always, sorry, he was taking a personal interest in me. He was always pleasure. George was attracted to Krishna and he liked to chant. Even before meeting Prabhupada, he had learned something of Krishna from Maharshi Mahesha Yogi from the autobiography of Paramahamsa Yogananda and from traveling in India. But Prabhupada's instructions in particular impressed upon him that Lord Krishna was the absolute truth, the origin of everything. George. Prabhupada helped me to realize the multifaceted way to approach Krishna, like the prasadam, for example. I think it is a very important thing, prasadam, even if it's only a trick. Like they say, the way to man's heart is through his stomach. Well, even if it is way to man's spirit soul, it works because there is nothing better than having been dancing and singing or just sitting and talking and then suddenly they give you some food. It's like it's a blessing. And then when you learn to touch him or taste him, it's important. Krishna is not limited. And just by Prabhupada's being there and pouring out all this information, I was moved. It's like the mind is stubborn, but it's all Krishna. That's all you need to know. It's all Krishna. This world is his material energy too, the universal form. And in Prabhupada's books, there are these pictures showing Krishna in the heart of a dog and a cow and a human being. It helps you to realize that Krishna is within everybody. Although Prabhupada might have been teaching some higher aspect, what came through to me a lot was greater understanding of how Krishna is everywhere and in everything. Prabhupada explained about the different aspects of Krishna and he provided a meditation where you could see Krishna as a person everywhere. I mean, there isn't anything that isn't Krishna. Prabhuji, can I stop here?
That's fine, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. I stop sharing. So I will start sharing the screen.
Hare Krishna.
Just a second, Prabhuji. I'm just sharing the screen, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji, for the delay. So, are you able to see the screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 6, the activities of Lord Rishabhadev, and verse number 1. So we finished 5th chapter. Today we are starting 6th chapter, the activities of Lord Rishabhadev. So we are reading verse number 1 in the 6th chapter. Raja Uvacha Nanonam Bhagava Atma Ramanam Yoga Samirita Jnana Varjita Karma Bejanam Aisvaryani Punah Klesha Dani Bhavitam Arhanti Yad Chadyo Upagatani. Raja Uvacha Nanonam Bhagava Atma Ramanam Yoga Samirita Jnana Vabharjita Karma Bejanam Aisvaryani Punah Kleshadani Bhavitam Arhanti Yach Pagatani. Nanonam Bhagavata Atma Ramanam Yoga Samirita Jnanavabhajita Karma Bejanam Aisvaryani Punah Kleshadani Bhavedam Arhanti Yadrucha Upagatani. Krishna. So anybody want to recite? Please welcome.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji, please.
Raja Uvacha Nanunam Bhagatma Ramanam Yoga Smita Jnanam Avarjita Karma Bijam Usharyani Puna Kleshadani Bhavitam Arhanti Yadricha Upagatani. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm also trying.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Rajo Bacho Nanunam Bhagavo Atma Ramanam Yogo Samirito Jnanava Bhorjito Karma Bijanam Aishwaryani Puno Kleshodani Bhavitum Arhanti Jadricho Pogatani. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Taji Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Rajovacho nonunam bhagava atma ramanam yoga samirito jnanava bhorjito karma bijanam oisharyani punaha kleshodani bhavitum arhanti jadrichayo pagatani. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam, Mataji, please.
May I try, please?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Rajovacha Nanunam Bhagava Atma Rama Nam योग समीरित ज्ञान अवभरिजित कर्म बीजानां ऐश्वर्याणि पुनः क्लेश दानी भवितुम् अर्हति यच्च क्षयो पागतानि. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to
Hare
read
Krishna
synonyms?
Mataji. I
Hare
will
Krishna.
also recite.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Rajovacha
Yeah.
Nanunyam Bhagava Atmaramanam Yoga Samarita Jnana Abharjita Karma Bijanam Aishwaryani Puna Kleshadani Bhavitum Arhanti Yadracho Paganti. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to read synonyms?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Raja Uvacha, King Parikshit inquired, no, not. Nunam indeed. Bhagava, O most powerful Shukdev Goswami. Atma Raman, Ramanam, of pure devotees, simply engaged in devotional service. Yoga Shamirita, achieved by practice of yoga. Jnana, by knowledge. Avavarjita, burned. Karma Bijanam, of those whose seeds of fruitive activities. Vaisharyani, the mystic powers. Punaha, again. Kleshadani, sources of distress. Bhavitum, to become. Arhanti, are able. Jadrichaya, automatically. Upagatani, achieved. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, anybody would like to read translation and purport?
May I, Mataji, please?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Parikshit asked Sukadeva Swami, my dear Lord, for those who are completely pure in heart, knowledge is attained by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, and attachment for fruitive activity is completely burned to ashes. For such people, the powers of mystic yoga automatically arise. They do not cause distress. Why then did Risvadhyog neglect them? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank
A
you.
pure devotee is constantly engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever is necessary for the discharge of devotional service is automatically attained, though it may appear to be the result of mystic yoga power. Sometimes a yogi displays a little yogic power by manufacturing gold. A little quantity of gold captivates foolish people, and thus the yogi gets many followers who are willing to accept such a tiny person as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a yogi may also advertise himself as Bhagavan. However, a devotee does not have to exhibit such magical wonders. Without practicing the mystic yogi process, he achieves even greater opulence all over the world. Under these the circumstances, Lord Rishabdev refused to manifest mystic yogic perfection, and Maharaja Parikshit asked why he didn't accept them, since for a devotee they are not at all disturbing. A devotee is never distressed or satisfied by material opulence. His concern is how to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If by the grace of the Supreme Lord a devotee achieves extraordinary opulence, he utilizes the opportunity for the Lord's service, is not disturbed by the opulence. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, we'll read translation one more time. King Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami, my dear Lord, for those who are completely pure in heart, knowledge is attained by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, and attachment for fruitive activity is completely burned to ashes. For such people, the powers of mystic yoga automatically arise. They do not cause distress. Why then did Rishabhadeva neglect them? Thank you. I'll stop the sharing. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायसु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके मोकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गम्यं गते यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यचन्द्रेश्वरं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण everyone. So we are discussing the Canto 5, the 6th chapter. In this chapter, King Parikshit is asking, so even though Rishabhadev unable to exhibit lots of yogic powers, why he is not utilizing, why he is neglecting? So before that, I would like to just recap from the previous sections. What is that? Why he is asking like that? Why Rishabhadev was neglecting it and what he has that power. So if you see in that chapter 5, so we finished yesterday the chapter, it's all about teachings of Rishabhadev. So he was teaching so many instructions to his son, 100 sons. Those instructions are very, very important for devotees to follow. Actually, these are followed by many acharyas, and also Prabhupada used these instructions, references in many, many purports of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And also our Guru Maharajas and our ISKCON Gurus, they often use these instructions in their preaching also. We generally hear all these instructions somewhere in our preachings. And these instructions are like a bullet points to follow the regulative principles. And we will discuss only few of them, not all the. If you see in the verse number 1, it is saying Tapo Divyam and Brahma Saukyam Anantam. So Rishabhadev is saying to his sons, so human form of life is very, very important. It is very rarely achieved. So you should not waste this human form of life for sense gratification. Even it is there in the animals like dogs and hogs. So they utilize their senses for the enjoyment. So as a human being, so that is not your goal. So sense enjoyment is not your goal. So human body should be utilized for higher purpose, tapodivyam. So divine austerities. So practicing devotion service and pleasing the Lord. So this is the main goal of the human form of life. So by doing this, the bliss, spiritual happiness you attained, it is far, far superior from the material enjoyment. The so-called material enjoyment by sense gratification it's nothing in front of Brahma Saukyam Anantam, the spiritual happiness. So that was the verse number 1 explained. The number 2 also, the verse number 2 also very, very important actually. So who ever serve the sadhus, Mahat Sevana, Dwar Mahur Muktaye, whoever serves the sadhus, for them, the door for higher planets, for a spiritual kingdom to opens simply by serving the sadhus. So instead of doing that, if we are entangled, if we are after women and wine, womanized in the material entanglement, so tamodvaram means it is the doors, the hellish planets open for such persons who are attracted towards wine and women. So by this we can understand how the life should be focused, what activities we have to perform towards the spiritual doors, towards the hellish doors. So we have to decide what activities we have to perform. And also it is also saying that the material bondage, material entanglement, it is because of shackles of sex life. In the third verse, Shabbadev is explaining that the is abandoning illicit sex. Pumsa striya mituna bhavametam. So this is the bondage, is because of this attraction between male and female. So instead of the attraction between opposite sex, you develop attraction towards the Lord. So by these instructions, we are getting the principles. What is actual religious principle and what are the irreligious principles, how we can follow the regulative principles. So these all explaining how to follow the regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. So thoroughly we are understanding by these principles. And also he in 13 and 10 to 13 verses, he is giving 25 process for liberation. So verse number 10 to 13, he is giving the Lord Rishabhadev is giving the process of liberation. So many processes are giving, like taking shelter of Guru, realizing the miserable condition of the jivas, performing austerities, inquiring about the truth, observing celibacy, avoiding unnecessary talks, seeing my presence everywhere. So that means by cultivating the Krishna consciousness, you can develop the conscious towards the Lord, and by attraction towards the material world, you can degrade, you can take the birth again. You will be gone through the cycle of birth and death again. So we can understand all these. What these instructions are very important for us. And also in the 18th verse, generally the all the acharyas and gurus, they use these. Guru na sasyat, swajanam na sasyat, and pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, devam na sasyat, pati pita na sasyat. So here it is saying that you don't become a teacher until you deliver your dependence. You don't become your friend or relative until you you deliver the dependence. You don't become mother, you don't become father, you don't become Daivam, so the worshipable deity, unless you don't deliver your dependence. So just like Bali Maharaj says Guru Sukracharya. So Sukracharya, he is always thinking about the material opulence of Bali Maharaj. He is not advising his spiritual advancement. So he can reject in such situation, Bali Maharaj, he rejects the instruction of his Guru. So because he is not giving the instruction towards spiritual advancement. So Bali Maharaj rejected. So he is not a proper Guru because he is not guiding. In the same way, Bharat, so he rejected mother, Kaikeyi. So she is after sense enjoyment for the benefit of his son. So the attraction for his son, attachment for the son is so much. That's why he is giving the wrong information. So she's not giving any information for the spiritual advancement. So he rejected. And in the same way, Prahlad Maharaj rejected Hiranyakaspu. So he's not delivering his son. In that way, he rejected. In the Daivam, Katvangamani, so worshipable is Indra. So he rejected, and he just focused on the meditation of the Lord. He attained the liberation. So these are the some circumstances where we can reject our whoever guiding us, wherever we are depending on them. So we can reject them because they are not able to deliver us. So in this verse, we can also understand how responsible we have to be wherever you are, as a mother, as a teacher, as a preacher. So we have to take our responsibility. What is our responsibility? Is to connect whoever comes to us, connect them to Krishna. by distributing books, prasadam, by giving the knowledge, by kirtan, by holy name. So that is your responsibility as a mother, as a father. It is responsibility to deliver your children, guide them, channelize them towards Krishna consciousness. As a friend, as a relative. So this is all our responsibility to make to deliver them in a proper way. And if you come to this verse, in the first verse, so king, that is the recap about the last chapter. Now come to the first verse of this chapter. King Parikshit Maharaj is asking, even though he is on the platform of devotional service, automatically the powers, mystic powers come. Why he is neglecting? And these devotional knowledge he attains by practicing devotional, so many principles of devotional service. So they attain that mystic powers because all these karmic reactions, fruitive actions, they just burn into ashes by that knowledge, by the knowledge of devotional service. So automatically they are getting that power. So he's asking to Sukadeva Goswami why he is neglecting. So in this regard, just want to speak about few things. That is, why, what are these opulences? How many types of opulences? How the devotees they get these opulences? And what are the 8 types of siddhis, powers? And what are the some examples for this? Who attained this and who neglected these opulences? So that is our today's topic. First, we discuss what are the 2 types of opulences. The 2 types of opulences, the opulences attained to jiva by their karmic reactions, by their activities. So like a pious or impious activities, they get some opulence, especially when they do charity, when they do ritualistic performance, even though sakama karma with the desires. If they are in the mode of goodness, they do some help to others by charity, observing the austerities. So, to follow the ritualistic principles. So these are all additional points. They get some pious activity. So by that karmas, by that activities, they get opulence. So opulence attained by karma. And the second one is opulence attained by bhakti. So here we can see the devotees, they get opulence, they get lots of powers. It doesn't mean that they are getting the opulence by karma. Sometimes they get by bhakti also, by the mercy of Lord. Lord just gives that opulence to them to fulfill the mission. So here, the materialistic people, they utilize that opulence for their sense gratification. They don't understand this opulence is given to me by Lord. So I have to use this opulence in the service of Lord. They are not in a position to understand why these opulence are come and how I have to utilize. They just utilize those pious activities for the sense gratification. For example, by giving the charity, by building the hospitals, by building the schools, roads, so welfare activities, they attain some piousness. So by giving that dana, tapa, so they can elevate to the heavenly planets. So there they utilize that opulence, that pious activity for sense enjoyment. What is the result of that? Again, so whenever their punya karma is decreased, they have to come again and take birth. So they don't know how to use that opulence. They are wasting that opulence. So materialistic persons, they get opulence, they get power by their karmic reactions, and they utilize these opulences in their sense gratification. But devotees if they get opulence, it is by the mercy of the Lord. It's a boon of the Lord. They use that opulence in the service of Lord. So in the fifth canto, it is the 24th chapter, there is a verse. So I'm going to share that verse to you. I'm going to share that verse to you. Are you able to see, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. 524:22.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So here we are seeing the Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is a king of Sutala planet. He was awarded by that Loka by Lord after he has taken all the material opulences. So in the form of Vamanadev, Lord has taken all his material opulences, and he awarded some other opulences for Bali Maharaj, where he can perform his devotion service perfectly. So here we can see that if you read this translation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead did not award his mercy to Bali Maharaj by giving him material happiness and opulence. For this make one forget loving service to the Lord. The result of material opulence is that one can no longer observe his mind in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when they get opulence, they utilize in a wrong way. They misuse it. They cannot focus because they are with so much of opulence. They cannot utilize their mind, their heart in the service of Lord. They cannot observe in the service of Lord. So the purport also, that's what we discuss now. There are two kinds of opulence. One which results from one's karma is material, whereas the other is spiritual. A surrendered soul who fully depends upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not want material opulence for sense gratification. Therefore, when a pure devotee is seen to possess exalted material opulence, it is not due to his karma, rather it is due to bhakti. In other words, he is in that position because the Supreme Lord wants him to execute service to him very easily and opulently. The special mercy of the Lord for the neophyte devotee is that he becomes materially poor. This is the Lord's mercy because if a neophyte devotee becomes materially opulent, he forgets the service of the Lord. However, if an advanced devotee is favored by the Lord with opulence, it is not material opulence, but a spiritual opportunity. Material opulence offered to the demigods causes forgetfulness of the Lord, but opulence was given to Bali Maharaja for continuing service to the Lord, which was free from any touch of Maya. So very beautiful verse explained here. And so the two types of karmas, the opulence comes by karma and opulence comes by bhakti. And how you are utilizing that opulence is very important. Whether you are utilizing for your sense gratification or utilizing for the pleasing the Lord, for the service of Lord. Here Bali Maharaj, even though all his kingdom and opulence is wealth snatched away by Vamanadev, he has given the opulence in the Sutala planet where he can perform his devotional service smoothly. That is the mercy of the Lord. So for the neophyte, generally, Lords, so people think, so I started bhakti. So slowly I'm getting I'm losing all my things. So I'm not getting any jobs. I'm becoming pauper like that. They think like that. So this is also, we have to understand mercy of the Lord. Otherwise, we cannot focus. If the straight away Krishna gives all these opulences, we think, okay, so we can do bhakti also, we can enjoy also. So it will not happen. So we cannot focus, we cannot observe in the in the service of the Lord. For the advanced devotees, generally, Lord bestows His mercy, giving the opulence, so that they, in a mature stage, they can utilize that opulence, that power, in the service of Lord. In this connection, there is a one verse in the Chaurashtakam. I'm going to share that one for you now. Chaurashtakam by Bilvamangal Thakur. Okay, so I will share that screen. In the Chaurashtakam, Bilvamangal Thakur says that he is praising the Lord. You are the greatest steal among all the thieves. You steal all our sins, all our wealth. Especially in the third one, we can see how he is praising Lord. And Bilvamangal Thakur is saying that अकिञ्चनीकृत्य पादाश्रितं य करोति भिक्षं पतिगेहहीनं केनापहो भीषणाचौरैर्दृष्ट्वा श्रुतो वा न जगत्रयेऽपि. So if you see the translation for the third one, he turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering, homeless beggar. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all three worlds. So he is saying that whoever surrenders unto Lord, so he takes, so first of all, he make them pauper. What is that? Why he is doing that? People may think we are doing bhakti, we are surrendering to him, we are doing lots of service to him. Why he is making us pauper? So that is the first question arises in the minds of people who are serving Lord. So we may understand that the Lord is giving and we are enjoying. At the same time, Lord is taking all our wealth. Why is doing that? Because our minds are so wicked. So we can easily, we can get attracted towards the Maya at any time easily. You cannot focus. Even though we get the opulence, we may think, okay, opulence also there, we are doing bhakti also there. So at one point of time, we may think, so how can you utilize my money, that money for my Sanskrit? I can buy this, I can do that. So just for my family, it is just for my wife. So I want to make them happy so that they will also be in the Krishna consciousness. So these thoughts come again and again. So chances for him to utilize that opulence in the material enjoyment, sense gratification. So that's why Krishna, he takes all the wealth, all that opulence, so that we can focus completely on his service. This was a very beautiful verse by Bilva Mandal Thakur. So he was explaining that how he makes us pauper, because to make our attention toward him. And also in the first canto, 15th chapter, so Pandavas timely retired. So when Krishna disappeared from this planet, King Yudhishthir, he saw some bad omens, bad signs. So, so all the wolf was grooming and all that bad omens, he can see that. So he called Arjun. Arjun also explained that, yes, I am losing my power. So astounding power I have got from the Lord. So I'm losing that power. So I'll share that verse. That's also very beautiful verse. Where Arjuna says that. Okay. So anybody can see that? I'll share that. Can you see that, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Can see that.
So anybody would like to read the verse?
Arjun uvacha vanchitoham maharaja arena bandhurupina yena me apartam tejo deva visha vishmapanam mahat.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation also. Thank you.
Arjun said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus, my astounding power, which astonished even the demigod, is no longer with me.
Yeah. So Arjuna is saying that he has given that power to me for the mission, for fighting. So the point we have to understand, I'm stopping the screen. Thank you. The point here we have to understand is these opulences, these mystic powers, so they are not meant for going back to Godhead. They don't help for our devotion practice, for devotional advancement, going back to Godhead. So these powers are given. They sometimes the devotees they are empowered by Lord. They get some extraordinary powers to finish the task. So in the case of Arjuna also, it was a big fight, war happened between Pandavas and Kauravas. So Lord bestowed some special mercy, some special powers to him so that he can win. So Lord's plan is to make the devotees rule over the kingdom. So he want to establish dharma. So he needs some pious people. So he empowered Arjuna so that he will win the world. After the mission is finished, after the fighting gone, everything finished, he withdrawn that opulence from the Arjuna. So they could feel that. Even Yudhishthira, five Pandavas, they could feel that power's gone. So they understood that powers are given to fulfill the mission of the Lord, will of the Lord. These powers we don't need for our devotional practice. We have to do our devotional practice with our sincerity, with our devotion only. For that sincerity, for that devotional practice to advance, to go back to Godhead, we don't need extra powers. That's why Lord He doesn't give that opulence for the devotees to advance in the spiritual journey. Of course, He gives some opulence so that devotees can utilize that opulence for the spiritual advancement, for the preaching, for the construction of the temples, for the book distribution, so many other things. For example, Prabhupada, he was empowered by Lord so to do all this. So he has built so many temples. He has come across all these oceans and he started preaching. So it's a power, it's a mystic power for them given by Lord. So we have to understand these opulences given by us are not meant for the sense gratification. We should not use in a wrong way. So we should use in the proper way where our spiritual advancements can happen, and also it is welfare of the society and in the preaching, in the distribution, in the books distribution, in so many other Krishna conscious activities. If they use that opulence, so it will be. And that means they in that way they are pleasing the Lord. So in other way, these opulences are not meant to take us to go back to Godhead. In the case of Bali Maharaj, we understood they are not using that opulences for their own bhakti. They are utilizing their opulences for their dependents, for the kingdom, welfare of the kingdom, for establishing dharma only. And also, we can see Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj also he has given the pole star, the separate planet. So there he has all the opulences, but he never used that opulences for his sense gratification. So he always used that opulence in the service of Lord. Even you see so many Rajarshis, even though they have that opulence, they never use for their sense gratification. In the case of Parikshit Maharaj also, he rejected the kingdom and he just focused on Srimad Bhagavatam. So they never use. At this time of death, he understood these opulences are not meant for me. So now I need devotional practice. See, understood. So that's why he heard from Sukadeva Goswami 7 days Srimad Bhagavatam. That's how devotees understand. If the opulence given to the material person, they utilize it in wrong way for the sense gratification. They don't understand. We have to give that opulence in the service of Lord, in the service of devotees, in the service of sadhus. They use for the sense gratification. But devotees understand this opulence given to me I have to utilize in a wrong way. They don't misuse it. That is the difference between opulence attained by karma, opulence attained by bhakti. And also we can understand from the Chaurashtakam, the Bilvamangala Thakur. So the opulence are given to the opulence is given to the materialistic person. So someone, if you are misusing that, Lord will take away all these opulences and he makes us pauper, beggar, and wandering on the streets. That means when it happened, our focus will be on the Lord. Then we can remember, we can completely surrender to Him. Lord, please help me, please helpless condition. We can approach Him so that our devotion develops. And also there are some Ashtasiddhis also given. So some sages and munis, they misuse it. But at the same time, they can utilize in the service of Lord also. There are 8 siddhis. What are the 8 siddhis? We will discuss. Anima siddhi. First, if you take anima siddhi, so the ability to shrink. So the body becomes very small. For example, Hanuman used this siddhi for spying Mother Sita. So that when he becomes small, nobody can see him. So he can go among the demons. He can see that he can search for Mother Sita. So he used it. He had Lord Hanuman has Ashtasiddhi Namanidike Data. So he got all the siddhis, but he used all the siddhis in the service of Lord. And also Mahima Siddhi. So they become gigantic. In the Anima Siddhi, so they become small, they shrink, they become small. And in the Mahima Siddhi, they become very big, gigantic. So Lord Hanuman also became very big to bring the Sanjeevani, that mountain, to uh, to give the life of the Lakshmana. So he became very big. So he used that power in the service of Lord Almighty. The Garima Siddhi. So Garima Siddhi means becomes very weight, becomes so weight. So this incidents also, there are 2 examples from this. One time, Bhima, he was looking for one flower asked by Draupadi. So he was going to get that flower in one of the mountains. That time, Hanuman was sitting in the monkey form. So the tail was there. Bhima, so he knows that we cannot cross like that. He asked politely that remove your tail. So he didn't know that he was a Hanuman. So with his power, Bhimsen, little bit Hankara, he said, remove the tail. So Hanuman said, okay, if you want, you can remove it. So Bhimsen tried to remove from the way the tail, but he couldn't. So Hanuman showed that the Garima potency there to make Bhimsen proudless, to remove his proud. He exhibited that potency there. And also the Angada, when he went to the court of the Ravana, they want to bind him. So he said, if you lift my leg, so I can surrender to you. That time he challenged. So all the demons came. They want to lift his leg. So, but he exhibited Garima potency there. So it is also in the service of Rama. So devotees, they don't misuse these powers. They use in the service of Lord. And Lagima Siddhi also. So they become weightless like a birds. So while crossing the ocean in the search of Mother Sita, he became weightless, Hanuman, so that he can fly easily across the ocean. There also he exhibited Lagima potency. And Prapti potency means Prapti. So they sometimes they desire something. They just ask, give me apple, give me this, give me this weapons. Demons, they desire for some weapons. Immediately they come. So the false gurus, even today, there are so many false gurus. They exhibit this potency, prapti potency. They create some apple and give to someone. They think he's a god. He's creating something. So there are so many followers. They are after money. They are after followers to cheat people. They exhibit this prapti potency, not for a proper way, in an improper way. And prakyam siddhi, sometimes they undergo severe austerities and ability to they have ability to live longer. They can increase their lifespan, and they can so many years they can stay in under the water. They can meditate under the water. For example, recently we have finished this chapter episode, that is Prachetas. They were undergoing severe austerities underwater for 1,000 years. So that is because of Prakyamasiddhi. So this is another type of Prakyamasiddhi. These siddhis we can use in a wrong way, and they can also use it in the right way also in the service of Lord. So that's how we have to understand these siddhis, even though they possess, so we have to utilize in the service of Lord. And Vasitva Siddhi, so they can also control others' mind. And Isitva Siddhi, so the earth calamities happen. Sometimes they ask rains to pour the water, so earth to move. So many natural calamities. Sometimes Indra also asks to pour the rain in the pastime of Govardhan lifting. So these siddhis are because of mystic powers. So we have to understand Krishna, Lord Krishna is a Yogeshwara. He is the um, full opulent of all these potencies, Yogeshwara. So if you want to imitate him like that, so that is foolishness. So take that mystic powers given by Lord in the service of Lord. So that is our intelligence. In this way, we can utilize this power in the service of Lord without wasting them. And if you are wasting your opulences given by Lord, so whatever mystic potencies, opulence in the service, instead of serving the Lord for your sense gratification, you will be entangled in the material bondage. So that's what this verse about, why it is happened. And the answer is given in the next verse. Is so analogy is given, just like a hunter cannot trust the animal, whatever he caught. So anytime that animal will run away. In the same way, mind, the devotees, they cannot trust on mind. Anyway, mind get agitated and go for the sense gratification. That's why they don't want opulent for the devotional practice. They just depend on the mercy of the Lord, and they do the devotional practices sincerely to go back to Godhead. So that's how this opulence should be used. In this way, I will conclude the topic now. Please, anything you can add. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
And
How beautifully you described this chapter 5 and 6, connecting them so nicely, how the instruction is being practically examined and utilized. So text 1 is the instruction, that is been utilized, and how to utilize. Rishabdev was explaining to his sons. The instruction should be rightfully exercised so that the purpose or aim of our life is directly presented and fulfilled in the right direction. That's why the examples you have given is how these opulences should be used, not in the wrong way, but in the right way. With the examples of all the Ashtasiddhis, it can be utilized for the purpose of serving the Lord, or it can be used for sense gratification. The thought of using these opulences is very, very important. That understanding how to utilize them in the service of the Lord is the main focus of this text, and it on and off telling us to do it for the right purpose. As we see the example of Srila Prabhupada, once he was a very renowned businessman, but slowly, in connection with this Lord, he was gradually losing all his opulence, material opulences. And one time, he has nothing and left everything for the sake of Lord. And it took turn, and with the connection of the Lord, though he was in the beginning he was connected, but that turning point came when he was totally became wealthless, and that turning point helped us to understand. There's the example of Srila Prabhupada. As you mentioned in Chorastakam, text 3, verses is the same thing. Lord makes them pauper to make him understand that material opulence is not needed right now. You need some other opulence which will lead to you to spiritual advancement. And how the turning point came into Srila Prabhupada's life. And he utilizes all these opulences in the service of life, Lord. And God has given opulence in abundance. And you can see that within short period he established 108 peoples, which is very, very, very impossible for any business to grow like that. So these are the lessons which we are getting from chapter 6 of Canto 5 through chapter 5, and this is one of them. So utilizing the opulence in the right direction is more important, rather it is to be used for showing up people that I am rich, I am richer, I will be the richest. That won't work. In that way, you won't be able to understand the Lord and serve the Lord. The only way you can understand by utilizing your will in the service of the Lord, as Srila Prabhupada did. Thank you so much for explaining the text in a very simple and easy way to understand. As we see in the Bhagavad Gita 1878, all this happens. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Tatra Partha Dhanurdhara. So we can see, as long as Lord is there, everything is there. As soon as Lord left, it took away everything. That's why that text you were reading from 1:24, I think, that uh, how this our Yudhishthir Maharaj was seeing around the omen signs. There's 15:1, I think.
15.1.
1:15. So you can see all the signs, omen signs, and that indicates the moment Krishna leaves the planet, he took away all the material opulences, so that we can understand in his absence, these opulences need to be used in the purpose of serving the Lord. So we remember the Lord, serve him, we get the same opulence back to us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for adding all these points. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanwan Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Mataji, you just said Krishna will bless some devotees with their opulence, materialistic opulence. Now we all live in materialistic world currently, and there's a lot of anger, hatred, and enviness
Yes.
in the world. So now seeing some devotees having that much opulence, a good house, good car, maybe good wealth, They might be serving the Lord, but how can we as a devotee living in this material world can stop envying them or stop saying that they are too materialistic or whatever may be the reason? Could you please put some light on that? Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Actually, yes. So Lord gives opulences. So in one way, whoever utilize it properly, so for them he can use it. And also we discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. So he has given that opulence for the Pandavas, not Kauravas. Why? So those who are virtuous, it's not like the devotees are not virtuous, they are virtuous. It's not like that. So there is a mission. So whoever fulfill that mission, so he provides that special opulence to them so that mission will be fulfilled. So devotees should understand that so these opulences are given not for sense gratification, for the advancement of spiritual activities. That should be there, Prabhuji. So in that way, we should not be anger, we should not be jealous. Why that devotee is having that much? Why I'm not getting this? So here it is not for comparison, just like a materialistic people, they show off when they get opulence, they want to show off in front of their relatives, in front of their friends, in front of their office colleagues, something like that. But here devotees, they never go competition, they don't want to show all these opulences. Okay, we have lots because Lord is giving for us, because I am doing lots of devotion, I am so dear to Lord. It's not like that, Prabhuji. So actually the devotee should understand these opulence are given to them for the service only. So and also the underlying point is for the for going back to Godhead, we don't need opulence. So there are so many examples in the previous ages also. There are so many devotees. They are not from the rich family. They are from the poor family.
Correct.
Generally, in those conditions only, we can develop our bhakti. We can develop our that we can focus. We can absorb completely. Even though Lord Krishna gives opulent and he makes them to repent at certain point of time. Even though if you see the devotees, they are getting so opulent, they have to serve, they have to arrange programs, they have to so many other things. Sometimes they miss the main focus, devotion service. They miss that point also. Sometimes they repent also. So Lord makes that point up to that point. So we have to understand that's why Lord will not give to us. So our mind is not focusing on that. We can easily distract. In the next verse, we are going to discuss the hunter, just like a hunter will not trust the animals, they will not let it go. So they are chances to move away. In the same way, mind is so fickle. Though there are chances we get attracted to Maya easily by that opulence. So Krishna is he's so merciful. He's our well-wisher actually. So he knows that to whom to give, to whom not to give. So in that way, so he gives some special power. He empowers with that opulence to certain people so that his mission to be fulfilled, not to everyone. I think
Thank you
this is
very much, Mataji. Very much, very nice explanation. But there's another thing karma, the duties, the prescribed duty, like Yudhishthira has to do, although he had the power and he was a king, he still has to do his duties, being a king. So even the opulent person who has that ability, he can still maintain that ability uh, towards his um, the praja, what is called the subjects. So that was his karma, which he was doing in terms of whatever he was doing, but he was also spiritually advanced to do that because of his opulence. Now, sometimes people who do not have opulence, they cannot even perform the ritualistic or the spiritualistic yagna or whatever, they cannot perform their spiritual activities also.
Yes.
Isn't it, Mataji?
Yes. So actually, yes, Prabhuji. See, there are different, according to Varnasrama also, you see, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. So, Vaishyas, their duty is to taking care of cows, taking care of farming. So, Kshatriyas, they are administrators. So, they have given some power to rule it. So not Brahmanas, not Vaishnavas, not Sudras. So that
Correct.
means they have to be like a Rajarshis. Even though they're opulence, they know that this opulence is given. I became a king to guide them, to connect them to the Lord. They have that duty. So the Brahmanas cannot become the kings. The kings only, there are some administrative rulers in the society. They are leaders. So they have given that opulence only so that they can deliver their duty correctly. Not everyone.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So any other?
Hare Krishna Mataji, there doesn't seem to be any more comments, so we'll end the class here.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kripa sindhu.
Sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnavibindu ki jai.
Prabhupada
Ki jai.
Jai.
His Grace Savitri Mataji ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so
Gaur
much.
Premanande.
Hare
Hari
Hare
Om.
Bol.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glorious assembled devotees.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.